Hi, my name is Jessica Mose.
And I'm Justine Spicciani.
And we're in EDM310 at the University of South Alabama.
Today we are going to be going over Chapter 5 in Mark Penske's textbook, Teaching Digital Natives.
Our main focus is how to translate curriculum into leading question. So, Justine, how does one translate curriculum into leading questions?
Well, first you must remember that driving questions are what frames the lesson and must be thought out carefully in order to maximize the student's learning. A key factor in presenting questions to your classroom is to ask the questions before even starting your lesson.
Why would you do that?
This way, the students are more likely to listen attentively and keep the question in the back of their minds throughout the lesson.
Are there different types of guiding questions?
Yes, actually, there are two types. The first is big, or what is sometimes called an overarching question. These are questions that refer to the objective of the lesson. The second type is detailed or supporting questions, which typically can be answered in a shorter, more simple way. Some things to keep in mind while constructing your guiding questions are: can the students understand the question? Are the questions open-ended? And will the students learn important content and skills to answer the question?
What if I'm completely stuck and just can't think of any guiding questions that will increase the student's learning?
Well, a little trick that might help you is to turn to the back of the textbook and look at the questions that the book provides and use one or two of these questions, especially if they pertain to your lesson.
So, what is an example of a bad guiding question?
An example of a bad guiding question would be questions that can be answered simply with one right answer, and questions that do not have multiple solutions, or questions that are too academically advanced.
Can you give me an example of a good guiding question?
Sure. A good guiding question has multiple solutions and no simple answer, and has practical results. And an even better guiding question would be a question that leads students to real actions that can change the world. So Jessica, tell me, how can I focus on the appropriate verbs to use when preparing for my guiding questions?
First, figure out what you want your students to obtain from your lesson, whether you want them to reflect on the skills in which you are teaching or if you want them to master the answers to the guiding questions. Make sure the lesson being taught has clear and direct connections to the verbs. Students don't always make the mental connection between the verbs and skills being used.
Why is it so crucial to make sure you have prepared your guiding questions appropriately along with the right verbs?
It is very necessary because guiding questions ensure that students are actively involved in the lesson. Questions increase students' interest and motivation to learn and are great for building critical thinking skills.